Welcome everyone to the Heart of the Artist. I am your co-host, Whisper Poet. We got my gorgeous co-host over here, Catalyst.
Hello.
Woohoo, Catalyst! Today we have a living legend in the poetry community, Jane SpokenWord. I am so honored to have you here on the show. Welcome.
Thank you so much.
So you are in New York City, and I see you have an impressive collection of vinyl behind you.
Yes.
And do you give yourself the label of musician in addition to poet?
No, I don't, because I generally, when I perform with a musician. So, and he's an improvising bass player. So my musicality to my poetry is when I'm performing with him, there's a certain cadence and a conversation that happens. So all my poems are up in here. So when he's playing, I can improvise to his mood and he can improvise to my mood. So it's musically inclined, but I don't play an instrument.
You are obviously one who has a deep knowledge of and love of music and being adjacent in musical spaces. And I believe your son is also a musician as well.
Yes, he is. He's a hip hop artist. So he's done, besides being on the road and performing, he's also done producing and engineering for some of the major hip hop talents. So with him on that side, and then my husband, Albey, who's my bass player, he's played with everyone from Chuck Berry to the maestro Cecil Taylor and everything in between. So I've been very fortunate to have all kinds of music and joy and art in my life.
Absolutely. And I don't know how old you are, but you have a timeless glow about you. I was just thinking about earlier before we came on camera. I'm like, I don't know what Jane's doing, but I want some of it. She looks good.
I thank you very much. I appreciate that.
You've been so many places and done so many things, and I definitely want to get into that. But I want to go back. I want to go back to and learn about young Jane. Have you always been as unfiltered as you are now?
Yes, that's always been suggested, and it's probably always been my problem. Yeah, the filter is kind of subdued. I don't do triggers, I don't do filters. I say what's on my mind, and you either can dig it or I'm out.
And you were like this from a young girl, I take it.
From ever since. You could ask my mother. Ever since.
Came out of the womb full of sass.
That's right.
Did you grow up in an environment surrounded by the arts?
I did. My mom was an artist. She painted in oils, and my dad was a part-time sax player, award-winning pool player, and an amazing boxer. He was so I know a lot of people don't think of boxing as art, but because I grew up with it, it is definitely an art. So that and working class people, they all worked. So I come from a pretty varied background.
So you learned to appreciate art from a very young age, and you obviously had an opportunity to go in any direction you wanted to. If you wanted to learn music, you had someone there who could teach that, someone who could teach painting, and you chose your own path. You chose spoken word. How did that come about?
Okay. That came about because when I was in grammar school, I could get extra brownie points from the nuns if I wrote poems besides my homeworks.
What a fantastic story. Oh my God, I love it. So you literally started doing this as kind of a means to an end, like a get in good with the nuns kind of thing.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. And it worked. It worked well.
That's great. Forget vacuuming erasers, man. Get up and write a poem. So you went to Catholic school.
I did. I'm
Being
outed. I
an
went to
individual
Catholic
of
school.
so being an individual of very strong personal opinion and also being a young person, I would think that you might have had some run-ins with some nuns.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Tell us one of your most memorable ones, please. This has got to be good.
Oh, they're very touchy. Oh, it's tough. That's a tough one. A lot of nuns, they do not like you if you don't conform. And when you have catechism classes every day, and half of the day is in French and half of the day is in English, and when you have those classes every day and you are someone who thinks about what they're actually saying and have questions about it, they don't like that. You just have to follow their rules. And so that forms your opinion as you're growing older of what you think about the Catholic religion. So, yeah.
So you were in this very strict environment, and yet now you were in New York. Was this in New York?
No, I grew up in New Hampshire.
In New Hampshire, okay. So how did you um, how did you access alternative energy, alternative spaces, alternative thought? How did you tap into that?
I come from a very large family. And so because of that, it was noisy. A lot of kids. We lived in a tenement building where everybody had 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 kids. So it was a lot of commotion around my childhood, a lot of noise. And I used to imagine as a child that I could be here physically and you could see me, but mentally I could be somewhere else. And that would work for me. And I just really perfected that until I got older and I realized that's an out of body experience. It's a meditation. So that just really opened up many paths for me.
And about how old were you when you were starting to explore that?
I was pretty young. I would say around 7-ish, I think. I was pretty young.
That's pretty amazing to start exploring meditation and having. I assume that what came with that was a sense of identity very separate from what you were being taught in school.
Absolutely.
When you went through kind of the teen years, when we're sort of naturally rebellious, how did all of that growing sort of, yeah, you guys are over here, but I'm gonna be over here in this space. How did that come to pass?
Well, it was an easy transition for me because um, I caught the very tail end of the beatnik era, and my whole teenage years. I was 17 during the summer of love, so meeting all the freaks. And back then, um, people were tribal in the way that you were a straight person and you didn't question anything, or you were a freak and you probably did drugs, good drugs, and open your mind, open that door that you didn't know could slide open and you could go to that other place. So it was a pretty easy transition for me. The music was that, the lyrics were that, the people were open. It was a great time. It really was.
And so, were you writing all along during this time? Were you still doing the poetry at that time?
I've always written, always, always, always. Pieces of paper, pieces of ripped cardboard, whatever I could find to write on, and I put them all in a bag, and then one day sit and go, oh, okay, this is working, this is working, this is good, this is a piece.
Love that. So, When did the transition to New York City come about? Did you do that independently of your parents?
No, what happened was I met my husband, who's a musician, and we toured. We toured all over the country. And so doing that exposed me to a lot of different poets, a lot of different poetry scenes, a lot of different musics. And it's how I got introduced. My show that I do is called the Word Jam. And Word Jammin is all about when we would be traveling across the country, my husband would go to these jams. And it didn't matter if it was reggae or blues or out jazz or smooth jazz, whatever. He could get up on stage with these people that he didn't know and he could play with them and it would be awesome. So it's like, I love the camaraderie of the musicians getting together like that. And I was so done with the 3 to 5 minute spots that everybody was doing that I was like, I want to invite people that I know and people that I don't know to just get together and jam off each other.
Mhm.
So there's no time limits, there's no rules, there's no triggers, just no hate speech. Always, I'm not down for anything, buddy putting anybody else down. But it all works. I
And
had I had a great education all over the country, meeting all kinds of people.
it sounds amazing. And so this was when you were in your young 20s that you were doing this?
Yes,
And that's your husband now, the man that collaborates with you.
yes, we just had our anniversary,
How long? How many years?
55.
Wow.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
that's because my husband's the bomb.
Ah, yes. I love that. I think this is so great because you are very passionate, you are very vocal, you are very powerful, you are not afraid to say anything to anyone at any time. And I think a lot of times I see people in spaces where they have that voice, and it almost feels like that voice for them is coming from a place of like anger. But what I'm finding out about you, and this is so cool, is that you actually are very, very grounded. You're a very grounded person with a wonderful foundation. And so I think that's so fantastic that when you are speaking your truth and you're talking about all the things that you believe so deeply and passionately in, you're coming from this very deeply rooted place of a solid foundation. And that's fantastic.
It is, thank you. It is. I have a lot of support. Like, our family is a small tribe and we've always supported each other. Meeting the musicians and poets that I have along the way have always, artists are so supportive of other artists that if you live in that community, you almost forget how fucked up it is out there in the world. Almost, almost.
Um, so young 20s, touring, doing all the things. And then at some point, you guys decided to start a family. How old were you when you made that decision?
I had my son when I was 22.
22. You were young. Okay, young mama.
Yeah,
Now,
well, we just dragged him out on the road with us.
that's what I was going to ask. Do you guys, that must have been such an amazing upbringing for him. Like he must have fantastic, just wonderful experiences.
He's like a walking musical library. He really knows so much about music. It's amazing.
Did motherhood soften you?
Oh,
It made you more
no.
fierce, didn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah, I knew it. I don't normally plan questions in advance. I normally just vibe and go with the flow, but I knew that was a question that I wanted to ask you. And I wrote down, did it make her softer or more fierce? And I was like, I know what she's going to say. That's so
definitely
good.
not softer.
Can you think of a time, when you were in this young motherhood phase where you had to be mama bear? Do you have a mama bear experience you could share with us?
Oh, mostly my mama bear stuff was always going to his school and demanding what I wanted him to have, demanding beyond what they would teach, demanding beyond. Um, I wanted him to explore. I didn't want a teacher to corral him in. So I know every time the door would open and they'd see me come and they'd be like, "Oh shit, not again. Now what does she want?" You know, but I wanted what was best for my son. So I was not going to stop at that. And I got what I wanted.
That does not surprise me at all. And you know what? The school was better for it. I have no doubt of that.
I agree with you because I got them to actually accept that boys could do home ec, things like that. That art was very important. It wasn't just a side shoot of life. That art is life. So yeah, I did make changes, and I'm very happy that I did because I think a lot of kids got a lot of good from it.
Absolutely. I can totally believe that. What do you think the nuns would think of you if they could see you today and all that you've accomplished and as many lives as you've touched? Do you think they would get it? Would they get it and be like, yeah, we did good?
Oh no, they would say you're evil and going to hell, and I knew that all along. I see him. I saw that. I saw you.
So we were talking off camera before, and I said, "Oh my gosh, we got to table this until we get on camera." I wanted to talk about the Red Road,
Mhm.
and I was sitting there thinking about because I've not been to a drum circle, I've not been to some of the things yet, but I have a perception, and I want to ask you this: when you're in that space and you are opening up your heart and your mind, and you're being um, very maybe if primitive, maybe the right word, letting go of our societal conventions and maybe hearkening back to a more primitive place within our spirit. What is that like to connect with people on that level?
It's otherworldly. It is connection on a level that most people don't ever feel. And over the years doing it, it's been amazing to meet people who come to a sweat lodge, say, or even just a drum circle for the first time, and they almost can't grasp that they were on a different vibrational level of living right that moment. And you once you get used to it, I'm trying to think back. Once you get used to it, it becomes a normal level of vibration that you miss when it's not there. So it feeds your soul. It connects you to the higher power, which would be known as the great mystery. That would be the higher power from a drum circle or a sweat lodge. For me, is connection to the great mystery, because to me it all is a great mystery. I grew up with the Catholic thing saying this is what it is, this is what it is, this is what it is. But then when you open your mind and expand yourself to the otherness of the world, you realize it is a great mystery.
Do you have angels?
No, I don't think so. Probably the little demon sitting on my shoulders going, "What the fuck, Jane? You saw that wrong over there. Now you need to write about it, make it right."
So, you have lived an amazing life. You've done an amazing things. What drives you now? What when you get up in the morning and brush your teeth and look in the mirror, what drives you?
I'm driven to I want people to show kindness. I want people to know that there's love everywhere for everyone, that there's no need to compartmentalize people and put this person in that box and this person. We're all a human. We're all a soul. We all have feelings. And, and so when I get up in the morning, I want to show kindness. I want to show love. And I want to break it down to these that we need to make things right, that people are suffering and there's no need to suffer in this world. There just isn't. So my writing, a lot of it is angry because I can't understand the world and I can't understand hatred. But a lot of times, like the new book that I'm working on right now, I'm really trying to stay uplifted and not go into the dark areas of, say, politics, where it can be so frustrating and so hard to write. The new book is it's more metaphysical. It's more bringing the spirit, bringing the red road to people, bringing maybe an alternative way to see your life. If so many people are having a hard time after being with COVID for so long and being in the house and things not getting back to what they thought would be regular. There's a connection that we all have, and that's what in every day that I connect with that. Be nice. As I say in New Orleans, on every place that you go to will be a small plaque that says, be nice or leave. There you go.
Those are excellent words to live by. Be nice or leave.
Yes.
Pretty unequivocal in their phraseology.
Yeah.
So I would love to hear your favorite places that you've been, because you've obviously been all over the place. Tell me some favorite places and favorite people that you have gotten to meet.
Some of my favorite places. Well, absolutely love New Orleans. I've met so many incredible people. I met bands that I was fans of, like the Neville Brothers, people like that just have New Orleans soul all in them. Friends with the Radiators from New Orleans. I did some recordings with John Sinclair, I just learned today that he's passed away. He was an amazing poet. He was an incredible activist. He did more back in the 60s for human rights and social rights and equality for all people. I met him there and we did some amazing recordings. It was great. And then when we were in LA, LA was a trip. Different people there, very different. Dionne Warwick was an amazing person to just see, like in her kitchen making coffee, offering like, would you like some munchies? And it's like, oh shit, that's Dionne Warwick. Do you know the way to San Jose? It's like, yeah. So just everywhere I go, it's like a magnet. If you have good energy, you attract good energy. So it's been lovely, and just to meet all the musicians that I have, to get to meet and hang out with the maestro Cecil Taylor, who the stories that he told of the people that he knew and the dancers and the architects, and to see people like Cecil, who their range of knowledge and their range of interest. It's a whole big world out there, and I just want everybody to get to see it and get to feel it. You don't even have to go somewhere to get it. It's in here.
I love this because you're smiling. You have this beautiful, joyful light in your eyes, smile on your face. It's wonderful to see you be so passionate. And you and I have not spent much time around each other, right? So all I've ever heard of you really is your poetry. And like you said, a lot of times it is very like, pow, you know. So it's wonderful to see you just kind of like happy and joyful and relaxed and, Okay, indulge me, indulge me. Grab
Okay.
a record from behind you and just a random record. I'm curious to see what you're going to pull out of there.
The Fifth Dimension.
Yes.
Of lines, angles, and rhymes.
Let's go.
That's it.
Do you still listen to your vinyl?
Not very often, no. I'm sorry. I'm getting hung up here. Let me put the record. I
How
don't.
many records do you have in your collection?
Oh, well, I have a confession to make. My collection's not here. My collection's in storage. This is my son's collection because he's a scratch DJ.
Yes. So you guys have just got records for days in the whole
For days
family.
and days, and our records were always, because my son started scratching when he was just a young boy. He was, I don't know, 12, 13. And I would be like, don't touch my records. Get your own records to scratch.
That's why yours are in storage, right?
That's right.
Oh my goodness, I love that. So what about books? I'm assuming you have an impressive book collection.
I don't have an impressive book collection because we move around so much. Not so much the past couple of years since COVID. We stopped being on the road totally, but we're mostly on the road. So I gave away my book collection to all my people that I knew, and I gave away all my favorite things to people that I knew, so that when I go to visit them, I could see my favorite things and that they would have them. And so now I have a probably 30 or 40 collection of poetry books that I've only collected over the past couple of years from meeting people online. And pretty much that's all the books that I have with me. But I love libraries, and you can get anything you want online.
That is absolutely true. That's
Yeah.
for sure. So what's left on your traveling agenda? Where have you not been that you still want to go?
I would like to be sitting on a beach watching a wave. It's the best meditation I could ever think of.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Are you a water sign?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. 5 signs in the horoscope of water.
Are you Scorpio?
No, it's pretty much all water. I have one Aries grounded. That's about it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm a big ocean side.
So let's see, New York City, you're what is it, 35 minutes from the shore?
Yeah, about that. About that.
So do you do that sometimes? Do you go out and like meditate, sit on the shore and just write?
Actually, I have family in New Hampshire and Maine, and they live by the ocean. So it's always nice to go visit, go hang out, sit on the beach, smoke a blunt,
Yeah.
watch a wave, write a poem. It's a grand day.
Yeah. Rye Beach, New Hampshire.
There you go.
I have friends who live up there and it's a beautiful place. I
It
got to
is
visit once
beautiful.
and it was wonderful.
It is.
So at some point you will be kind of an old lady, right? And we look back, what era will you look back on when you're old and say, yeah, those were those good days? Because you have such joy beaming out of you. I think you've been happy like your entire life.
I would go, I gotta love the 60s. The 60s was innovative music, innovative dancing, innovative art. Everything was new, everything was exciting. Everywhere you went, it was a mixed crowd of people. There was young, there was old, there was every color of the spectrum. It was just a joyful time. It was really a joyful time. And I had, except for maybe hip hop and rap music, there hasn't been any new innovation in the arts to me. A lot of the art things I've seen are um, done by computer, which that's great, but there's something to be done about the tactile feel of holding a book or drawing a piece. It just, the electronic world doesn't do a lot for me. So I liked in the 60s when, I didn't have a phone. And if you wanted to see me, you came to my house and you knocked on my door and said, yo, you home or what? It's like, yeah, I'm home, come on in. That's how it was then. And so people got together more family-like back when we ate together, we hung together, we went to the park together, we went to concerts together. Now it's like, everybody's watching a concert through their phone. everybody. You know, I've been at dinner with, I swear, the girls were talking to each other. They were texting each other at the table. It's like, just talk. So yeah, I'm definitely a fan of the 60s.
So if you could recreate some aspect of that now and kind of apply it to us as a society, what piece of that would you want to say, okay, we used to do it this way, we're going to bring it back? That what you're just talking about?
Hmm. I don't know if it could possibly be brought back because everybody has gotten pretty much tribal right now. Not very accepting of people not in their group. So I would bring that back, that you could be in a space. There was a lot of free concerts back then. So you could be in a park in a space with hundreds of people and talk to every single person there and have a great experience, maybe have a shitty experience here and there, but generally people were very open, people were very kind and sharing. And I can go to the same thing here. There's a lot of things in the park here, and unless you know me, people are kind of leery of like, why are you talking to me? You don't know me. So I would bring that back. I would bring the camaraderie and the love, and probably get everybody high so they could slip through that little door.
I did. I remember having a conversation one time with someone and said, I think the answer to world peace is just to get everybody stoned because you
Word
can't do
up.
that when you're high.
Word up. So true.
So the red road, that's a powerful, powerful path.
Mhm.
How did you decide that that is a journey that you wanted to experience for yourself?
It's the first steps that I took, not knowing that I was on the path, and following the path, all the things that opened up to me.
Now, are you of Native American heritage?
Yes.
Okay. But you don't necessarily have to be of Native American heritage to be on the Red Road, correct?
No, you don't. No, because it's all humans. We're all human beings. We're all living under the great mystery. Whatever you think the road is for you, if you follow that road with a true heart and you strive to be a better person, that's what it is. I'd
How
drag
did
you all on the red road. I'd drag you all there if I could. I'd corral you all and say, come on now. It's the name of the game is love. I think the Beatles said it, all you need is love.
So how do we take this wonderful thing that we have in the poetry community where people are so loving and accepting of each other and not just accepting, because you can accept people and really not give a crap, right? I think it's embracing. We're so embracing of each other and in love with each other's triumphs and uplifting. How do we take that and translate that into the broader world? How do we do that?
I think we are doing that. I think so many people have become poets and so many people are out there spitting their poetry. And um, I actually have been really putting a lot of effort into inviting people that I know that are not poets to come to specific shows where I know somebody's going to be kicking ass on a poetry thing. So a lot of times I'll invite people like saying, yo, I know you're not a poet, but I know you'll dig this. It will open up your mind to a different experience. So, and I think poets are doing that. They're putting the word out there, and it encompasses the audience. And when you bring the audience in with you, there's one poem that I do. It's called, well, there's two actually. One is called Serial Killer Moms, and the other one is called Anthrax and Bombs. And they're both, one is about feeding your children too much sugar, and the other one is about how many chemicals people use every single day in their lives without even thinking about it. So those are my two most requested pieces when I perform live. And what it is the audience connects to those pieces. Like people have come up to me after and said, I realized that, yeah, I'm sending my kids off to school with a belly full of sugar in the morning. So I heard you in that poem. That made me feel great. Another person, or a few people actually, have said, I heard your poem, Anthrax Embalmed, and I went home and I cleaned out all my chemicals. And now I only use natural products. And I'm like, cool, I hope you didn't flush them down the toilet. Hello. But it's connecting to the audience and bringing that awareness to people that that's what that's what I see us poets doing.
Do you have a legacy?
Time will tell, I guess.
If you could make that footprint be anything you wanted it to be, what would be the things that you want to be remembered for?
I would want to be remembered for um, every single person can make a difference in someone's life. Every single person can be kind and show love. And that's what the planet needs. That's what people need. We don't need fear. We don't need hatred. We don't need bigotry. We don't need sexism. We just need love and kindness and respect for one another. If I can leave that through my poems, I'll be thrilled. Because everything else is just bullshit.
And these were things that you learned very early from your mom and dad, I take it. These principles of respect for yourself and knowing yourself and you're so grounded. I love this.
Yeah, but I found that ground through my experiences growing up.
Okay.
Because like I said, I come from a big family. My parents worked very hard all day, all night. We all kind of took care of each other. So I've come my way through the lessons that I've learned coming through life.
Do you have a big food culture in your family? Do y'all have like these wonderful family recipes? Are you a good cook, Jane?
I am an excellent cook.
Fantastic.
I
Oh,
am an
what are your
excellent cook.
specialties? What do you like to cook?
My favorite dish is enchiladas verdes
Oh, oh yes.
with side of refried beans and some salad and some corn on the cob. We're good. Yeah.
Now, do you make your own the green sauce, the verde
Oh,
sauce?
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. The only thing I buy is a tortilla because I don't have a tortilla press. But yeah, I like to cook it. I find it very right-brained experience. I find it very relaxing.
Does your husband cook as well?
He cooks a little, but he always says, why would I make it? You make it so much better. But he
Yeah.
makes a mean crepe.
Oh, love
Yeah,
crepes. They're
yeah,
amazing. Are you guys soulmates?
absolutely. I knew it from the first time I ever laid eyes on him in 1969. Like, oh shit, you're the one for me.
That's fantastic. I mean, that right there, that's I think what everyone in the world aspires to is to find that person and just know it that unequivocally. It's so beautiful.
Oh yeah, it's a gift. It's an amazing life gift. I just, it fills me.
And when your cup is full, it's easy to share that, with others,
I agree.
which you do so beautifully. Would you like to share some of your cup with us now? Read some poems?
Oh, sure. Uh, you got any requests or just whatever?
I want to hear what you're in the mood for.
All right. Let me do, let me do serial killer moms. Serial killer moms kill you sweetly with sugar pops and Captain Crunch and chocolatey cocoa puffs, a magically delicious quickie breakfast on the fluff. Serial killer moms kill you softly with rain dings and toaster things and frosted tasties on a tray. Just pop them in your toaster, get your fix to jumpstart your day. Serial killer moms kill you slowly with mystery meats disguised as frozen treats. Dinner in a box complete, just zap 'em in your microwave, a quick and easy fix of what to eat. Serial killer moms kill you kindly with devil dogs and funny bones, yodeling Yankee Doodle ding dong. And she serves them up with a smiling face and a happy morning sing song. But wait, have you ever heard the saying, you are what you eat and drink and think and think and think and think? Oh, just forget about it and blink. They have you occupied with alibis, serial killer moms killing you sweetly with whoopie pies, fries, and vats of red dye, all business lies, disguised as food for thought. You are bought by corporate plots to steal your shit while you wasn't looking. Busy eating Twinkies, drinking Speedies, and nuking pizzas in their pockets. There's corporate lies in all them pies, little Debbie's and rainbow rockets. Oh, that's a fun piece.
I love that. I love that. I want my sister to hear that. Is that on your website that
Yes,
I
it is.
can direct? Okay.
It
Yeah.
is. It might be video and audio, but I have, on my website, you can go listen to stuff, you can read stuff, you can watch videos. I make all my own videos, so all the visuals are me.
You have committed yourself to, service to the community. And even though it's evident what you care about, I want you to speak it, especially if you have any specific like charities that you want to highlight or give that space to you.
All right. Well, the charities, there's really one. I do the American Indian College Fund. That's one that I do. The other charity work that I do is I will do any benefit that people ask me to do because I believe in giving back. And I have, it's almost like a phone world of people that call me and just want to talk. And I'm always open to people.
Absolutely. I think that's wonderful about the American Indian College Fund. I have a friend who is very, very active with Native American causes or indigenous people's causes, I think is actually what is correct to say. And such terrible things are happening to indigenous women in so many spaces. And I didn't know until she shared it with me that they're among the most victimized
Yes,
group of individuals in the world. It's staggering.
it is. And when you see the red hand painted on a face, that is to symbolize the indigenous women who are disappearing, that we don't know what happened to them. But
What
it's all over the world. People's cruelty knows no boundaries. It's that's the hardest part of my life, is trying to come to grips with how inhuman humanity is. It's just, I just, I, my mind can't wrap itself around people's cruelty and people's inhumanity. That's what drives me every day. I just can't wrap my mind around it.
Yeah. So don't stop talking about it, right?
Exactly.
Keep vocalizing it and make it change.
Yes. Vocalize it, write poems about it, get a sign and sit in the park, call your representatives, call the people's house, make your voice heard.
I love that. I love that, Jane.
Cool.
I'm so glad you're here today. This is such a
This,
dope conversation.
this is amazing. Yeah, you've gotten things out of me. You outed me on the Catholic school thing.
I hope in a good way, though. I don't
Well,
ever want to out anybody uncomfortably.
no triggers, no issues. I'm good.
All right, so you gave us the cereal mobs, which is amazing. Do you want to do the poison one as well? The
Oh,
chemical.
anthrax and bombs. All right.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I did this one. Everybody's worried about anthrax and bombs, and terrorists that fly planes into buildings, and weapons of mass destruction are an unseen scare. It's the frightening reality of a chemical war nightmare. The dreaded threat that can harm us all when the bombs hit, we're all gonna fall. But check this out. You plug it in, you spray it on, you roll it over, you dab it behind your ears, between your legs or up your pits. You even hang those awful evergreen trees from a string and a bag on your automobile's rear view mirror. You smear on, you smell so nice. You roll fucking spice. You tidy your bowl, Lysol your cold, lemon fresh your glade, shout your stains down the drain. Don't forget to bounce your motherfucking dryer. So yes, I know everybody's worried about anthrax and bombs, but I'm here to tell you that it's you that I fear. All that smell you smear on daily from your toes up to your hair. Chemical warfare ain't no foreign threat, you dig? It comes from much closer to home than you think, so let me break it down for your smelly old selves. It's chemical warfare every time you buy the shit that's on your shelves. You're like a junkie on a fix with chemical habits that you feed. Plug and spray and rinse and wash and dab and out behind your ears, between your legs, or anywhere you feel the need. But you tell me, who the terrorists be? You got your, and we're not done yet. You got your leaf blowers and SUVs, your smelly ski-doos and your leaky jet skis. You got air fresheners plugged into every wall for breezing you all to death. And gadgets for every thought, all powered from can till can't, sucking energy from a wire that goes to what? The electric plant. Electricity, like magic, it comes from the sky, or gods, or fairies. It just is, don't ask why. But wait, what are you, stupid? Just where is it you think plastic comes from? Have you ever heard of oil? Well, petroleum plastic does come. And while we're on the subject of stupid, let's move right along to our beloved television. Big Brother's delivery system of nothing to see or think about. A Bergeron box that will drown your soul, steal your brain, make you old before your time, litter your mind with trash. Like you litter the planet with disposable lighters and diapers and things I wouldn't even begin to know about it. And while we're at it, how you gonna buy some shit and unwrap it and without a blink toss it on the ground? Have you ever heard of Mother Earth? How are you going to get her dirty for the babies you birth, you stupid motherfuckers? Have you no clue? You gotta watch just what you do. It's up to you. You're like a junkie on a fix with chemical habits that you feed without regard to our mother. You need. You need. So the next time you go into your local food mart, take a good long look in your own shopping cart. Then you tell me who the fuck the terrorists be. Peace, yo. That's anthrax and bombs.
Dang, that's fantastic. I love that. What was
Uh,
the like? Where did you get the inspiration? Where did that come from?
well, it was after 9/11 where everybody was freaking out about anthrax and bombs and they're coming to get us. And I'm like, I'm allergic to fragrances. Y'all kill me every fucking day. So that's where that comes from.
That is fantastic. Oh my God. Yes. Yes. I I'm very much with you. I have this brand of microfiber that I use that you just clean with water because the
Yep,
microfiber is so good and it's like amazing and
yep,
love it. It's a good
yep.
feeling to not be dumping stuff. And I live on a well, so I have definitely have a vested interest of not flushing chemicals
Yeah,
down
yeah,
the
you got to save that water.
toilet. What's your water like in New York? Is it good?
All my water is filtered. I have filtered under the sink. I have filtered shower because there's so many fungicides and pesticides and all these other sides in water that are not good for you.
Yeah.
So everybody run out to your local store and get a water shower filter because that's where you get a lot of your chemicals.
Absolutely. And you mentioned dryer, the stuff for the dryer, like dryer sheets and fabric softener. They're the worst. They're terrible.
Yeah, they're awful, and it's amazing. Like people love that shit. It's like
Yeah.
you're poisoning yourself. You're poisoning the planet. Come on.
Yeah. Good dope. Good dope.
Yeah.
So do you happen to have a poem about being on the road?
Do I have a poem about being on the road? I don't think I do. I think one's coming up though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You need to write that for
I'm
real.
gonna have to write a poem about being on the road, like
I
Willie Nelson. Oh,
I
to
want
do it
to hear that.
again.
I want to hear that. All right, we got to have some more. Give us some more, please, please feed us. I'm
Oh
seeing
God.
Thomas. Thomas keeps coming on video with like this grin on his face. Like he's like, yeah.
All right. All right. Everybody. No. No. Wait. I'm getting a couple of poems crossing my mind. It's like, oh, they're going into each other. You know that Jimmy put a smile on your face. Fly on, fly on a magic carpet ride to that very special place and make love, make love, make love, and don't you be late. But you are late, living on the hesitate, can't get it done though you try and you try. You closed your third eye, blinded by no light, fearing your God's might. You wrapped it up right, you zipped it up tight. Walk on, Mr. Businessman, with the army of your choice, fearing your inner voice. Oh, there ain't no life nowhere. So speak your mind and fill your children's time with love and imagination. So fuck their scheduled play dates because curious minds do not wait and they grow up without you. So speak your mind, fill your children's time with love and devotion.
That's beautiful. Did you write that back when your son was young, or has that been recent?
Yeah, back when my son was young, inspired by Jimi Hendrix.
Love that. Wow. You're feeding our spirit. This is so wonderful. I just, yeah, this is awesome.
Yeah, it's
We still got some time, so you maybe fit one more in there, you think?
all right. Let me see. I plugged my book to Word Against the Machine. I don't have any physical books left. I sold them all, but you can get a download. And all right, let me read this one. I don't know this one by heart because I've never performed it, but I'm going to read it today. It's called Questing, and it's why I wrote this book. Embarking on a quest, my visionary process of poetics to explore human realities, a rejection of the sacred cows of Bible-thumping technicalities, a condemnation of distorted machinations of jihadist idiocracies, acknowledging the depths of evils perpetrated by white sheets in the night, a trail of tears, devastation, destruction, slavery, rape, mutilations, murder, mass incarcerations, hatred, sorrowed by the purposely inflicted pain of one human upon another. I weep at the heartlessness of it all. My function as the poet is to navigate everydayness, dive into the abstract of experimental inventiveness, venture into the unsuspected, unexplored otherness, quench this thirst for creativeness, exorcise the practice of human separateness, conjure the spirit of comprehensive calmness, imaginate alternative futures of oneness, celebrate kind-heartedness, My responsibility as the poet is to introduce a new speech of peace and prosperity, to atone for the atrocities of humanity, escaping criticisms of a so-called right-wing moral majority, underwhelmed by the political correctness of a bleeding heart left-wing majority, liberated to generate awakening with visions of vocalic imagery, released from the superficial simplicity of mindless, endless hate that is wedded to a concentrated doctrine of religious states, absolved from past sins of our obscured fate, we contemplate, questioning the abandonment of how and when we became not me, them, not us, intellectually disoriented from the unintelligible herding of minds, revealing the non-anticipated time, curving words, staining vowels, dripping metaphors, engaged in abstractions, committed to shine, to Black Lives Matter, to Standing Rock, to dreamers, to lovers, to youth on the march, to women on the move, to humanity, to inspire tribal resolution where I and he and she and me and the rest of yous, including all of you and us, become we. From my book, Word Against the Machine.
I thought I was going to get through this interview without crying, but damn it, Jane. You just did it.
Uh,
That was amazing.
that's my purpose.
Yeah.
We are so grateful for you, Jane. Thank you so much for
Thank
all that
you.
you are and all that you do.
Thank you so much. This has been an amazing time. I don't often just sit around and talk about my stuff, so it was an experience. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And I definitely am taking away with me, be nice or leave.
That's right.
You can't say it any better than that. I mean, it's absolutely
Well, and the other sign in New Orleans, hippies use the side door.
use the side door. So before we conclude, please tell everyone where they can find you, because after this we want more Jane. We need more Jane.
Thank you. I do things around New York City. If you look at my website or IG, I'm Jane SpokenWord. I always post things there. I have a Word Jammin coming up on April 24th with 4 all-stars that are ridiculous. And then Thomas, I got you on the list. I know you'll be coming up. And I also have a live performance coming up on May 5th in Cambridge, Mass at the acclaimed Lizard Lounge. If y'all are ever in Boston, you've got to go to the Lizard Lounge on Sunday nights. And that's going to be a live Word Jam. And so it's going to be me, Cole Rodriguez, Art Collins, my husband Albey OnBass, and another bass player also. So it's going to be bass and poetry, and it's going to kick ass.
That's amazing. I love it. I love it. And you're working on a book now. Is the book you're working on now, can you give us any information about that yet?
The book that I'm working on now is, hey, Gifted. The work that I'm working on now is more of a, rather than being heavy political, it's like the same frame of mind, but in opening people's mind up more to love and to kindness and to other alternative ways of thinking about life that would maybe make you more inclusive. So it's backed up Word Against the Machine, which is what people have called my fuck you poems. And the next book is called Banned, and it is all about opening your mind.
Jane, thank you so much for being here. You are one badass ray of sunshine, and I'm so glad that I have gotten to have this conversation with you.
Have you been talking to Advocate of Words? Because he's the one who dubbed me a badass poet. It's been a great interview. You've asked me some amazing things that made me like go through the files up here. Very cool.
Thank you. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Thank you, Kat. Thank you, Thomas. Gifted. I'm glad you showed up, even though you showed up late. You have to watch the reruns.
Absolutely.
Thank you all. It's been dope.
Thank you so much. Guys,
Yeah.
this has been Heart of the Artist with an absolutely amazing interview with Jane SpokenWord. Please check her out. She's got some special, needed, required things to say, things that we all need to hear and absorb and then live. So yeah, Catalyst.
Again, thank you so much, Jane. You're amazing. You're so inspiring. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Kat.
All right, guys. Thank you
Peace
so
out.
much.
Love you,
Peace.
Jay.
Love poetry.
Peace. Love y'all.